Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to talk about our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll go over the dollar, 10-year yield, and some other stuff. Again, this is just my financial opinion. We'll dive right into it. And if you guys have any interest, check out my website, Platinum Membership's the membership that you want to get. If you want to get information about particular companies that I am investing in during this commodity bull market, we'll jump in here, take a look. We've got the dollar. The dollar is down a little bit. It's been on a tear here recently. What this is saying is that the dollar's the strongest currency of all the other currencies, but it's still a weak currency. So basically, we're just using this as a gauge of how weak all of the currencies are, because we have massive inflation, 8% inflation plus, at least by their metrics. So we have 8% inflation. The market conditions are there with respect to inflation and the dollar. This is the 10-year yield. The 10-year yield remains strong. We're up almost at 3%. We're getting up there by 3%, 2.9%. And the overall markets are not liking this. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and they are selling off, and it is having a slight impact on a lot of the commodity market. Things are selling off a little bit. So we got to ride through this. We have to ride through it to get to the promised land. Now, looking at bonds, bonds are continuing to sell off. They do not look good. And why am I going over this? Because this is the fuel for the fire in commodities and precious metals in particular. This is breaking its support line. And again, this is going to break down. We're going to see a retest move. This could be the retest move. And again, I don't know the path necessarily, but pressure is going to push this thing or pull this thing lower. That is money rotating out of bonds, and it's going to be looking for a new home. Usually in history, that new home is gold and other precious metals. Gold has been moving sideways here in a consolidation period after hitting its 2080 peak. There's your two peaks. Some people say, oh, this is a double top. I don't think so. Why don't I think so? Because the real estate market is the driver of this inflation. Well, it is a group of a driver. Stimulus is part of it. The real estate market's the other part of it. Under these market conditions, gold and silver usually go higher. And right now we are drifting sideways with a declining stock market. This happened back in the 2000s. If I scroll on back, 2000, let me get way out there. In the 2000s, we had a crash in the NASDAQ market as this thing kind of pulled back some. After that crash was basically complete, we started tearing it up. And what we are is we're just early to this mix. We know what's going on. We know the market conditions. We've nailed all that down. We need the steam to come out of the NASDAQ and overall market, and it can pull us down a little bit. Then once we're past that, it's game on like Donkey Kong. Now, here's the thing. We don't know the exact moment that this thing's going to rally and just kill it. But what we do know is it's coming. And what I'd like to do is I like to position for those types of moves. We've broken out of this larger pattern. We could pull back further to 1817, 1820, somewhere in that range. That is in the cards. It can possibly happen. We could pull back here. But all I say is it's a buying opportunity because of the market conditions. And silver's pulling back. We are doing almost a full retest in silver. We could hit all the way down to 22, maybe even 22 flat almost. Again, though, buying opportunity. Buying opportunity. Am I crazy? No, because we're sitting on top of patterns. We're sitting on top of things. Platinum was up today. I hope it goes lower. Why do I want something to go lower? Because I want to buy a heck of a lot more of it. I am very confident that this will go higher at some point. This is incredibly cheap. Yeah, I know a lot of people feel good when it goes up, but if I can get this at, $900, I'll take it. I will take it. XAU to gold ratio, yeah, the miners pulling on back a little bit more. They're pulling on back. We are momentum lower, momentum sideways, hitting rock bottom here right in 2015. And we are having higher lows in this ratio. And we could pull back a little bit more, so long that we don't break this point, where the line is right now. Corona Resources, let's go to the dailies. Yeah, popped up a little bit. We could pull back here even further. We could do a little bit of this and a little bit of that and come do a retest move at $4. And we're just early, guys. We're early to this game and we're waiting. EXK, another one that's pulled back to its breakout point. We'll see what happens. FSM, another one that's pulling on back towards its retest move. SILJ, they're all doing this pullback towards the retest move, and I think all of them are very close to potential buy points. We haven't seen the momentum turn around yet. It's starting to slowly. There's still some sellers around there, and keep in mind, it's the overall market that's falling too, so it's going to create sellers. MMNGF moving sideways. Koyo Silver moving sideways right at support. Discovery Silver getting real cheap. It's down there, guys. I'm liking where it's at. AG, another one that's doing almost a full retest move. Newmont moving sideways. Still looking good. Mag Silver moving sideways. It's got the bloody face. We'll call that one the bloody face. AUY, another one that's trying to move up today. Got a little bit of selling pressure. We'll see what happens next trading session. Impact Silver moving sideways. AAGFF moving down and lower. Again, this one is getting into critical area where, we could see a little bit lower downside out of it. Arcana Silver, 13 cents is a good support. That's what we're looking for. PLG, another down day today. We'll see what happens next trading session. This could end up going lower. Simonyai, Stillwater, putting in a bearish engulfing still. Looks like the pressure is still on. And I'm going to do an overall market analysis with ratios. I'll just do the overall market and release it tomorrow, so you guys can see what the overall market's doing. Sandstorm Gold getting some more selling pressure. That could pull back within the pattern. Franco-Nevada, again, I like it if it gets down here. I've been watching it. We'll see if it pulls on back. Sellers are still there, guys. They're still there, and the overall market is selling off. EMX finding a little bit of support, up 2.5%. Tootin Resources moving sideways in this sideways channel. Wheaton Precious Metals, hopefully it pulls on back to this vicinity in there. I would like it if it could. Gold Royalty moving sideways, down from yesterday. Metallo Royalty, this has a big bullish engulfing. Then we got a smaller down day next to it, kind of I'll call it a bloody face. Bloody nose. Mavericks Metals back on support. We've got Royal Gold getting a little bit of a sell-off here. Again, this thing's had a monster run, though. A Cisco Gold Royalty moving sideways, back inside of its pattern. And then Altius getting that bloody face, bloody nose, whatever you want to call it. Again, guys, we are above a lot of these patterns, and we could still pull back further. I think that we're really early to this game. After looking at the overall markets, they could pull back quite a bit, and it could impact our commodities. It could drag us lower with it. Does it mean that would I sell here? No, I wouldn't. I would be looking to purchase. Why would I look to purchase? Because we're getting low into what I think are pretty good buy areas. And I still think that the market conditions and the ratios and all those things are still positive. The XAU to gold ratio still looks really good. If we were to, let me pull up the Dow Jones so Dow Jones Industrial Average to gold ratio, and Dow Jones is continuing to go lower against gold, which means gold is outperforming the Dow Jones Industrial Average as this goes lower. You can kind of see basically a trend line developing there, and we're not breaking out. We'll see what happens, but we could potentially head lower where gold outperforms the Dow Jones, and that could mean in the short term that gold still goes down or sideways and the Dow Jones sells off. And this was the beginning of the bull market. This is the beginning of it. This is what it feels like to be early and to be in the beginning of a bull market is things sell off. It'll drag us and pull us and bring us down lower with it. And eventually it'll all break apart and we get our, we get to go to the promised land, far, far higher in a land far, far away with, yellow brick road and all that stuff. But we're not there yet. And hopefully platinum sells off more because I'm going to buy the poop out of it if it continues to go down. Why? Because platinum is ultra rare. We do not have that much inventory of it. And in relationship to how much we use, it's probably one of the leanest inventories. I mean, there's some other ones too. Copper's getting down there, zinc's getting down there, nickel's getting down there. All those, they're all getting down there in terms of how much inventory there is to the usage rates. But platinum's a precious metal. It is in decline in terms of production. And I think in terms of supply, I should say, production supply. And demand for it will increase over time. So I think it's in a really good spot. And right now we have a little bit of a surplus in the market. And those things are very difficult to figure out if you have a surplus or a deficit because they don't share any of that information. They don't share the substitution information into catalytic converters. We know that it's happening. We just don't know the amounts. So you just got to hold on. That's what it is. Got to hold on. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Subscribe to the website, Platinum Membership if you want. We've got a question and answer session happening tomorrow, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you want to join, go ahead and join. The Platinum Membership gets you that access to the Zoom question and answer session. And I'm probably going to answer some difficult questions because a lot of people, they're not used to riding through stuff. They think it's real easy and you just ride straight higher. Hopefully that's coming. I think we're just early. We're just early and we're going to have to bounce around for a little while. And you could look at it from a positive perspective because the lower this goes and the longer it stays low, the more that you can buy good shares. So long that the thesis is correct. And the thesis is intact. Everything looks good. And we just have to wait for the market to adjust. All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. This is Finding Value.